come up with some of those things. I don't know if anyone's kind of interested. I haven't had a deep look at these things. A lot of them are claiming to pay for quality. A lot of people saying, but I'm buying own labels. So bleach is bleach, exactly as you said today. I'm not really interested in being branded around that. I tend to be a loyal customer. Only 30% of them are saying, I'm a loyal customer. So I think don't take them for granted. They're not likely to be around. And of course, some of these things do also change over those age groups. So this presentation was put together for the ABC, which is our state-owned broadcaster. And so we just sort of tried to tailor what came out of this. And we seem to have so much in there that we can have a conversation for almost any category with what's in there. So what we were really saying to the ABC was that these people, and I guess the background to this was that we did all the preparatory work. They started the equivalent of a BBC 4, the 24-hour BBC show. So anyway, this is ABC 4, and they've got 24-hour news. But we were just saying the people in this age category become increasingly drawn to context. So they want to know what happens with a particular issue and how that does play out in the wider society. So more in-depth analysis of issues and emerging trends and politics was of interest. There's huge opportunities for personalisation. So where people becomes friends of the ABC, or they bring up, or they Twitter, or they send in a comment to some show, these things should be kept and stored, and they can start having conversations about people. What they were finding with the 24/7 show was that people would miss the things they wanted to see. They have the environment quarter, or they have the business quarter, or whatever, but people were missing things. So they're looking to use that personalised email approach to just remind people when particular programs are on, or the Prime Minister's going to be talking here, or that such and such is happening. But to use things like that to try and engage people with the thing, because that's about relationship developing and social networking, which this group love to do. But also around lifestyle enhancement. These people want to do things, whether it's gardening or travelling Australia or travelling the world. Give them information about that, so that's important. And they also want to make a contribution. And the ABC plays a really important role in getting people involved in volunteering around the environment, or helping older people, or working with disabled, or whatever. So we were able to say some things like this to the ABC. So look, there's just a quick snapshot of what we've got for that. We've got the surveys if anybody's interested in adapting it for their own market. We're happy to grab some of that and use it if you like. So that's been done.
Is there any reason to think that this, you presented this as kind of life cycle. Is it possible that it's not?
That the older people are just happy?
Yeah, they're just different?
Different. I think that's a really good question. I don't know the answer.
Well, an angry 50-year-old.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I've convinced myself that there's a point when you don't have all the responsibilities of life that allows you the privilege and the ability to refocus how you spend your time. And it makes sense to me that when that happens, you'll have a much happier, richer life. And I guess I've done enough work in the tourism category and stuff where people talk about their golden years, 55 to 75, where they're still fit and well and active. And look, the reality is, you get sick between 12 months and 18 months before you die. But for the vast majority of us, we will live our lives until we get sick and die. And so long as you look after yourself and keep yourself fit, and you lose that weight, and you exercise, and you're going to have 20 years where you can actually put your interests first. So it kind of makes sense to me that this is kind of what happens at a stage in life.
Well, you'll know soon, right?
Yeah, I'm going to know very soon.
I meant from the data.
No, I'm going to know.
That's
where I understood.
Yeah.
All of us.
Alex, tell me when you're there, then I have another question.
Yes.
Who do you do this work for?
No, this is our trend. It's our work, and so we do it. But in fact, you're right. We sell this as a syndicated package. So the ABC pays $20,000, and we send them a deck every time we do a wave. So about $20,000 a year.
How frequently is this?
Well, 3 to 4 times a year. Depending.
Second question, didn't you find interesting those people in going back to college?
Yes, yes. The learning issue, we asked that question. We actually asked 10 pretty random questions in there, like, do you want to fall in love? Do you want to start a family? Do you want to go and build your own house? Do you want to move to the country? Do you want to take up a musical instrument? Do you want to go back to university and do a degree in the area you work on, or in something completely new? And all of those are fairly small numbers, but if you net them, it turns out 30% of everybody 55 plus is going to do 1 or 2 of those things. So they do have big plans. I think a lot of it's highly aspirational, I suspect. A lot of it's not going to happen. However, having said that, the products don't exist. No one communicates them because this market is largely ignored because it's been like that. So why would you focus on the like that? And plus, they're all grumpy and old anyway. They want money. The difference is they're not grumpy and old. They're actually savouring life, looking to learn, continue to learn it. Maybe in a different way, but I think there's huge opportunities for that kind of product.
I mean, David, still, you open any newspaper in the UK,
Yep.
and you'll still find the ad pages there, which are about chair lifts, slipper, gardening slippers. I mean, all this, the usual tosh that you sell to your perception of what an old person is, but that just completely blows away. The other thing I was going to say is we've started adding to a lot of our tracking studies across lots of different industry sectors a thing called customer effort score. I don't know if anyone else uses that now. There's a fairly new, it's kind of opposite of NPS. It's a sort of measure of, it's particularly good for transactional businesses.
Yeah.
And it's a measure of how difficult is it for me to engage with the organisation to achieve what I want done. And there's a correlation across all those different industry sectors of this age group of the being, the grumpy old thing. They really aren't. If they get organisations that they find they're having to work harder than they think they should to engage with, then they go somewhere else.
Go somewhere else. Yeah.
And it's really clear.
Yeah. What's it is people are not interested in working that hard anymore on those kinds of relationships. If the relationship's too hard at work, they're going to go somewhere else. So we shouldn't take them for granted. That's absolutely sure.
And maybe they have the knowledge and experience and confidence to kind of know how you deal with companies.
Yeah.
So,
except that they want to talk, and companies don't want to talk to them. They go, well, go online. I want to chat.
the impression I'm getting from this is that this population is working and then retiring. Is that the normal?
No. I think this chart where we talk about the changes. I don't think, and I think that's why we've got 40% happy and content, best stage of my life, 24% horrible stage of my life. The 36% in between are the retirement happens and the transitioning happens over a longer period, not just at 55.
Right.
I think it starts then and goes through. I mean, look, some people, I heard there was a guy on the radio the day I left who was 99, about to turn 100 at Christmas, in December, and he's worked in the same school teaching since 1962, maybe 50 years, and he's still working, still getting paid. So not everybody retires, and not getting out of the workforce isn't for everybody.
So he actually took that job when he was 50.
Yes, he took that job when he was 50.
A question,
Worked for 50 years.
A question we had asked sort of in this context was, what does retirement mean to you? And what a large proportion said was retirement was the point at which you had the choice of whether you would continue working. But most of them wanted to continue working because they were in relatively rewarding jobs.
Yes, and I think that's the case too. I think it's a career peaking moment, And it's the fundamental issue for the happiness that we can see in the data is when you are able to reprioritise, so you're doing the things that matter to you. In general, we know the drivers of happiness are learning, connecting, those fundamental things. But for some people that happens at work. That also gives them a sense of meaning and purpose.
And I think choice and control probably fit in there as well.
Yeah.
Is there any easy component that would be capable of, I suppose, simply pushing out across the network that, potentially members who are interested might do a 3-page chunk of this? What do you think? Is that something you'd like to do, or?
I think that would be great. I mean, see, I think it's an issue in some of our markets. I mean, I thought it was funny, the Italian group poo-pooed the idea last time.
Yeah.
But they've got the fastest aging population in
and
the
the
world.
Greeks.
And the Greeks are right with them.
The Greeks all want to retire at 55, and they said they'd no interest in old people.
That's if they work at all.
Yeah.
So that's
And the Germans don't like it.
No, they have to pay for it. But I think we could find a core component that we could all do if people were interested. But what say I send the surveys around?
Yeah,
and
great.
take a look at them.
That's great.
Be welcome to have a look. Yeah, Sammy, I've mentioned Egypt's still like that. Yeah,
that's true.
I think it's less
But
interesting.
but surprising that we don't have in Egypt, even for the younger people, the trend surveys. So it's not in the Middle East. You don't find that. And this, I think, it's important for the companies.
Isn't the Middle East even steeper? I mean, if it's
Yeah,
like this.
Yes, that's true. That's true. Even in countries like Saudi Arabia, like you find 70% under 25.
Yeah.
It's
Massive.
Yeah, that's true.
David, thanks a lot.
It's really good.
Okay, we're ending the final stretch. Break until 3:30. Then Catalina, and then internal.